to what exactly is your goal for your book. Do you just not care and it can just look like everybody else's, or are you trying to stand out?
Okay.
Another thing that I've noticed that you have to be careful. Speaking of Facebook, you have to be careful of how you represent yourself and your book. You know, someone will post their book, and everyone is all excited about the book, and she's getting, or he or she is getting good feedback, and then all of a sudden they come back with a post that's so demeaning or out of character, and who's going to take you serious?
Because sometimes I'm thinking, either are you an author or are you trying to sell, your body? Like,
right.
And then you come up with you're an author, but then you come up with some term. Well, what I'm sorry, hey, this is uncut, but I just read a post today. Maybe you just want to go ahead and just unfollow that person. Someone said today, what type of nigga are you? Are you a this nigga or you that nigga? I'm saying, come on now, you supposed to be and your post is all ratchet, ghetto-fied. I understand, but Jesus Christ, I mean. And someone's supposed to want to buy your book, and you complaining about that, but you sending out posts saying, look, you're showing yourself like, okay, are you showing sex or you want to sell your book? And then your words out your mouth like nigga this, nigga that, punk ass, and boy, and I'm like,
right.
I can't take you seriously if that's what it is, and you just go ahead. I'm just mortified by this whole thing. Go ahead.
No, I definitely agree, because I when I have people reach out to me to work with me, I go look at their page. I even do that when I would hire people at the hospital. So it's like, I'm gonna see what type of person you are, and you have to separate the two. Now, if you want to do one page, then you got to be careful with how you market your book on there, because my thing is, if you come to me and you want marketing, and then I'm trying to connect you with the people that I know, because I reach for the stars when I network, so if I'm going to network with you and then I'll send them to your page and you have this stuff on there, then they come back to me, well, I'm not really even interested in her book. Look at how she's representing herself, or look at how he's representing himself. I don't want to promote that, or I have people that'll message me to promote their stuff on my page, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that either, because I have to maintain my credibility, because I know what my goal is. So I would tell any person writing and or becoming an author, what's your goal? Are you just doing it because you always said you want to just do it, or you have plans for that book exceeding your expectations?
Exactly. Some of them just got a book out, just say I got a book out, because I've done some screenplays that turn into books. I mean, books for screenplays, and I see a whole bunch of typos in the book that I had to tell the client, look, there's a typo inside your book. Oh, okay. So it's like they just throwing it out there, just throw it out there. So, some take it seriously. Some just throwing it out there, just be throwing it out there, which is retarded. So, good information. So, guys out there, authors, get with Miss Dorch. Teach y'all guys how to do it. But also, what made you decide to ghostwrite? Let's get into ghostwriting. Because I tell you this much, I just made a spill. You're going to hear it once I seen the broadcast link about how I feel about people not wanting to do ghostwriting. Like, I saw a post the other this weekend, right? Because I did the ad on the post to see how many people would actually want to learn how to ghostwrite, right? And then I had some people say they're interested, but they don't have $50 to take the class.
Right.
So, and I did it to see what reaction would I get out of it. Then I had some people say, well, why would I want to write somebody else's book and I'm not getting credit for it? Fool, dummy.
That's ghostwriting.
Don't you know, fool, that you can make between $5,000 to $25,000 to $40,000 just writing somebody else's book? Fool, don't you know that? I mean, it's like, it baffles me sometimes that you don't want, and you have the skills to actually learn how to write a book. Because it's not my original idea. I mean, is your book selling? So are you making tremendous amount of money because of that? What? Look, and then they say, well, I can't get credit. You can put your name on the book. They can say authored by such and such, but written by such and such. Do you think all these politicians and celebrities and CEOs sit down and write books. When they give interview, of course, they're going to say, I wrote a book. But in reality, you are the one that written the book. You got your $40,000 check, or $50,000, however they pay for the big time. And then you're out the door. You move on to your next project. They worrying about the book sales. They doing the interviews. You getting paid. I just don't understand that. But, yeah.
Well, that goes back to, again, what is your purpose in the whole realm of being an author? Because a real author would jump at the chance to write a book because it gives you the opportunity to continue to do what you love. And also you are getting paid an enormous amount of money to write something for someone else. And I think the ones that come back with those type of responses is because their books are not something that would excel. So how are they going to write for someone else? They don't have the confidence to know, to be able to write for someone else. I love it. And I love writing. I'm always writing. So to write for someone else, it may give me an opportunity to write something that I didn't even think about writing. For an example, one client, I wrote basically her story of what happened to her as a child and what happened to her mother. And I didn't have that experience. So I would have never been able to write something that emotional and beautiful as I did based on someone else's life. Another client has something that's totally made up. So her storyline is definitely a movie. I have an opportunity to help her finish that. So it's opening your mind and your creative juices to flowing. So when you finish writing that book, you're like, oh man, I never thought about writing something like that. So then you write something not exactly similar, but along the same psychotic lines or whatever, and you never know what can happen. But it's just different opportunities. Just like I would say with nursing, I'm not just one type of nurse. I've done 7 to 10 different areas of nursing. I'm not going to hold myself to one thing. I'm always going to elevate higher to be more marketable. So the ghostwriting, when I saw that opportunity, there's no way I would have passed that up. And it goes back to investing in yourself. What exactly do you want to do? I know where I want my career to go. I know that my goal is to walk away from corporate America August 2020. So if I don't set some things in place, writing my books ain't going to take me where I'm trying to go.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, your books can, but really, exactly. And it just amazed me how some people just, and I think you hit it on the nail, which I thought so. You said the confidence and thinking, okay, my book is so okay, but how would I feel writing for a CEO or writing for someone else other story? So you're right. It could be the confidence and could be the fact that, to be honest, some people can only write one genre, which is, if you write hood books and someone asks you to write about a Vietnam vet or a World War II veteran, then you're going to be out of luck. I just finished a screenplay off a Chinese guy who wanted to live in the 14th century, and his alter ego was in the present time. And I just finished. I'm like, wow, okay, I did that one, and I had to do that one. So I'm like, okay, it makes you learn your craft even more. It builds you up and it builds your skills up. And you can actually tackle those genres and tackle those story concepts and those things to that nature to make you a better writer. And you'll be surprised how talented you are once you step out of your own comfort zone and do something totally different. That's what makes you a writer.
Right. I agree. But I feel like whenever you do put the feelers out there or put a post up about ghostwriting or even publishing, both of us, we can agree we've had millions of people interested. But when it comes to really putting in the work or paying for it, then they back out because there's a lot more into it than they think. So that goes right back to, okay, they're not really ready, or they thought it was going to be easier, something they could just throw together and not really worry about it. But true authors or true ghostwriters want to keep on elevating.
And most people say, well, I can go to Upwork or go to Fiverr, but I'm going to tell you about them. They don't pay as what it's worth for your service. And I've been told that once it's finished, you're not, working hand in hand with the person like that. Once it's finished, it's finished. You don't hear from the person until it's done. And it's actually half of them is from people that's out of the country. So if you're doing a story about an African-American person and you getting a story about someone that's in India, it's gonna look totally different. So
Right.
so it's gonna be
Right.
totally different. I've had that. One of my clients told me about that. So they're willing to, it's the reason why they said they thought it was cheaper, but really, you get what you pay for at times. So
That is true. Unless you develop a relationship outside of Fiverr,
exactly,
and so other than that,
exactly. So what's next for Miss Dorch? What's next for Miss Felicia Dorch? What are you working on? What's next for you? What you got in store for 2020?
Oh, awesome. Well, I have another book coming out, which is the actual book to read. I say book because the first one was a prayer journal, and then the other one was a planner. And I've been kind of low key on my own books because I've been writing for other people.
Right.
But I have a book called God's Purpose, and it's just about basically about what is in store for us, according to God's word. And then my biggest thing that I'm working on, which is under your leadership, is screenwriting, because I definitely want to hone my skills and understand that better.
How you got into screenwriting? Tell the audience about that. Not to toot my own horn, but tell the people about that.
Because John is amazing.
Stop that.
The opportunity to be able to take the book that I have in my head to turn into a movie, I couldn't even imagine not having that opportunity. And, I saw your post, and I'll be honest with everybody, I didn't have the money to spend. I had to leave. I'm a single parent, but I still came back and I paid for the class. And I've been kind of lackadaisical and not getting all my work done because I've been writing, and it's all John's fault, everyone, because he's sending me clients. But I've been writing for other people. But I'm getting back on that. I'm really focusing on learning the screenwriting because I think that's going to be amazing, and it'll definitely give me the ability to learn a new something new and a new style of writing, because it's totally different than what I think in my mind. But just to shout out his class, like, he's very thorough. Like, you will definitely get it. And I was excited because I was like, oh my God, this is foreign. I'll never understand this. But he's super patient, and you will get it. And it's a lot of fun to take something that you write and visualize it and have the ability to hopefully see it on the screen. So I think it's just amazing. It is an amazing godsend opportunity.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned it, because I think earlier last year, a studio contacted me about me doing a class. So it never came to fruition for the studio. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. So that's how it happened. So, and I'm glad that you're taking the class and things like that. And ladies and gentlemen, Felicia Dorchester is going to be a random co-host from time to time here on Chilling with Coach John. So glad to have you be co-hosting with me, so to speak. So from time to time. So I thank you, appreciate you. So here, just like we did with a Real Dude show here on Chilling with Coach John, we tell people what they feel and what they want to get off their chest. So you have the authority and the freedom to get whatever you want to get off your chest. So I'm going to give it to you. What do you want? What do author, ghostwriter, and screenwriter Felicia Dorch wants to get off her chest? Fire away.
Well, let me see. I would probably say I would like for people to support Black businesses more. Mm-hmm. I would like us to support each other more. That one thing burns me up. I try my best for everything that I am working on or need help with. I try to search within my race first. And I would like for us to have better communication with each other and better customer service, because it is so frustrating to deal with our own people and the customer service be horrible, the follow through is horrible, they don't call back, or they don't respect what you're trying to do, or everything is the dollar sign. They're not thinking about the art or what they're doing. They're not, reach back and pull one up. Right. It's all about the dollar sign. And I get it. I'm not trying to give everything away for free, but I shouldn't have to pay you $100 to ask you a question. So I want to get that off my chest. I want us to support each other and not try to tear each other down. Or if I decide I don't want your product, or I decide I can't afford your service, then I don't want to be bashed about it. I don't want to be told that, oh, you just don't want to invest in yourself. But then I come back and I want to work, and you don't know if I'm going to come back around and work with you, which I've done that. I'll say, well, you know what, I can't do it right now, but I'll try again maybe later, and that's what I do if I get a good vibe with that person. So really just